Tuesday show and share. We're glad to see all of you here. We usually start our show and shares off, or our Tuesday nights, with showing off things that we're working on, or things that we've made, or things that we have questions about, or things that we've completely screwed up to warn others. And we have a little sign-up list. If you missed it, I can still get you on the bottom if you want. Otherwise, first up we have David Peach, who has clipboards. Probably they don't say Knox Makers. No? Okay. Too bad.
I just made a couple clipboards a few months ago, and I haven't shown them off yet because I wasn't sure what was really going to happen. Being such thin wood, and then they're glued up side by side, and this has now been almost 8 months, I think, and they're still mostly flat. So I was very pleased with that. The little clipboard parts itself are just, you can buy them at Amazon as a kit. Though what I did is the little screw posts here. The Amazon ones are a press fit and you squish them together. But your wood, your whole project has to be like between this number of tenths of millimeters and that number of tenths of millimeters for those to actually clamp together. And I wasn't that precise on my thinning down my boards, and so I ended up, these are called Chicago screws. It's got like a barrel that goes down inside the hole, and the screws into it, so it's jacketed inside your little hole. Then I just got those on Amazon also, but I was pleased with the way they turned out. And then I shot them with a heavy-bodied satin lacquer, which I really like the way it looks. So it's got the lacquer on it, but it's not real shiny. And then I had another project yesterday. I broke my glasses, and this is not on the thing there. I got to have my glasses on so I can see how to zoom in. There we go. Of course, now I won't even know whether I'm in the right spot. The little piece right there in the middle, it's just a little wire there. I was cleaning my glasses and it just snapped right in half. And it was nice that it snapped in half because then I was able to take, this is just a little standoff for computer motherboard. I took that and it had a hole through it enough, I cut off the screw end of it, had a hole in it, and then I put it on there with lots of flux. I don't know what kind of material the glasses are made out of, but with enough flux you can solder anything. And so I just filled it full of solder yesterday, and then took a file and some real fine sandpaper and cleaned it up and made it look usable, and feels as strong or maybe stronger than they were originally. So until I can get new glasses, I fix my glasses. So I'll pass these around. Yes.
What was your process for gluing up that thin stuff that you did?
I glued it up a little bit thicker than this, and then I planed it down. So that was one of the things that I did, and I just made sure I got a good amount of glue inside the glue joint. And these two are both low glue joint counts. I have another one that I did that has lots and lots of glue joints in it, and it has not fared as well. A couple of the joints have popped open. And so these have done fairly well. They've stayed mostly flat, but I did glue them up a little bit thicker, probably not twice as thick as this, but thicker than this, and then I planed it down. And I think that was a big help. Anything else? Alrighty.
Thank you, David. Now you just have to put Morristown Makers on the back of those instead of Knox Makers.
Yes. They have my initials on.
Nice. Next we have Sue, who I wrote down amazing sewing, and she said it's not. So you guys can be the judge of that.
So hello, everybody. Have you ever had a difference of opinion with another person in your house No. You look at an object and they see trash and you see potential. So that's kind of where my project went. We had gotten a bed in a bag, that you get the comforter, the sheets, right? Comes in this plastic bag, very heavy vinyl, with a zipper, and, really quite large. And I'm sure you all know that, UT has the see-through bag policy now, right? So I'm like, I can do something with that someday. Well, I finally had the opportunity to do something, or the project to turn it into. I took excess strapping material and sewed it onto the sides. I don't know if you can see it real close up, but yeah, just sewed it on the sides, and now it has become, or will, when I get the rest of these in here, a bag for toys. Duplo blocks. So maybe there was someone in here that was making Legos on the 3D printer, so maybe I need to work with them to help get a few more. And that's it. It's not amazing, but it's trash to something. Call it recycling, call it a maker.
Did you hand stitch it?
Oh no.
I'm wondering how the sewing machine did on the plastic.
I have a small piece of Velcro on the back side or on the inside as well as on the outside, so that the machine was doing Velcro to Velcro and the plastic was in the middle. The hardest part was trying to smush the bag down so it could go all the different directions I needed it to within the sewing machine. So,
Nice.
anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Next up, we have Ori, and he's showing a printer. Ooh. Sorry? Part of a printer.
So this is very much a work in progress. I've got the frame built at home, and it was a little bit too big to bring in, but I've got a picture of it. So this is what's in my garage right now. This will be a 415 by 415 by 440 build volume. It's a version of the Hypercube Evolution. This one's called the Hevort. And the thing that kind of makes it unique is that it uses 3 independent ball screws for the Z-axis, so you can get true bed leveling. And then what I'm working on here today is I've got this, the bed frame, and I've got a piece of 1/4-inch aluminum, and stressing Billy out trying to figure out how to cut the or how to drill the countersunk holes to mount it onto the build plate perfectly. So that's what I'll be working on after the meeting. I did. Yeah, I've got 2 Pruses that I've been making all the parts on, all the frame parts.
Fun. Thank you. And last up, we have Amos, who has a misspelled glue tray.
This was a project from a while ago, and I have a whole bunch of glues that, let's see if we can do light. There you go. A whole bunch of glues that I use to put things together. A lot of the time things are assembled with epoxies, and I have them in 5 and 30-minute varieties. Usually the longer the setting the epoxy, the stronger the end joint on it. But sometimes also just the shorter working times are simply not enough to apply the glue where it needs to go. So it's good to do it in batches. And something I found is if you mix your 2-part epoxies on Post-it notes, it will not generally soak through. I haven't had it soak through yet. And then when you're done, you can just throw away the Post-it note, and it's not like a whole paper plate or something like that. And also, they have, this is an old spice canister. They have little 3D printed spatulas that you can use to mix the glue, which is much easier than using a toothpick. So I've got these things in here. A few other things on it was the instant setter for super glue. If you've not used one of these before, you spray the activator on one surface and put the glue on there, and then when you touch it, you can hold it for about 30 seconds and then it's completely set. It's not as strong, but it's a lot more convenient than waiting several minutes for it to set up. Super glue, there's a company called Starbond, which is what I got my glue from, and it comes in all different thicknesses, but they have this black super glue and also just your standard clear. But what I like about the Starbond types is that they also come with these itty bitty tips, applicator tips, that they're disposable, so use them once, then you have to throw them away, but they allow you to dispense the tiniest amount, because one of the biggest problems with your normal super glue is they're way too thin and it goes everywhere, so you want just a tiny amount. And also, if you get the glue on your finger, they have this solvent which will take off the super glue, which is quite nice. But I misspelled, so this is a 3D printed base that I made to hold all this, and I misspelled cyanoacrylate, so I had to break off those letters and I never replaced it, so that's why. Yeah, basically it. Oh, to get all the dimensions of these things, it's pretty simple. You just throw all the things in the flatbed scanner kind of how you want them, and then that gives you a dimensioned image. So you just draw circles around, circles and rectangles around things, and then extrude what's remaining, and you've got your model. So.
That was our last sign up. Does anyone have a share that didn't get on the list? Yes, Bob.
I've been having too much fun with my 3D printer. And so I had this idea. I said, I saw people with different name tags, and I said, I should have a name tag. And the laser printer was down, so I couldn't laser it, and I thought, well, I've got another printer that works. And, yep, sure enough. So I printed it up, and I found a thing. I use OpenSCAD, sometimes called OpenSCAD, and trying to learn how to use it. And so I had an idea first, and I printed the red background, and I found a rounded corner module. So you could specify the radius, and you could kind of put nice rounded corners on everything. And then I figured out I could recess the letters by taking a mirror image of it. I was also trying to figure out how to mark some of my projects, 3D print some information in the project itself. And I said, oh, wait a minute, if I made the letters and then I did a mirror and then I subtracted them from, say, like the bottom layer of my project, I would have a date or whatever I wanted to put on there. So I made some recesses, and then I was going to print the white letters and set them in. Well, trying to get the sizes to match up didn't work at all. And then I said, wait a minute, I can just print the white right on top of the other one, and I figured out how in Prusa to say, put a pause right here. So I printed the whole thing, or I laid out the whole thing, and then went into the slicer and took the little slider down until my name just disappeared. And then I went up one layer and I said, okay, color change right here. And beep, change your filament. So I did that, and it came out really cool. Okay, then the other thing I did was I took an old name tag and double-sided taped the piece to it. So now I have an official Knox Makers name tag. Questions?
Thank you. you, Bob. I love hearing people's design process and the thinking part, because I would have never known that. It's a simple 3D printed name tag, but you know, everybody has to go through that process of figuring the things out and learning how to pause the Z and do all the fun things. So thank you for showing that. Anyone else have anything? No? No? Okay. So class is coming up. We have lots of classes coming up. This Sunday is a board meeting, just in case you're on the board and you forgot that it's coming up this Sunday. If you're not on the board, you still can attend. It's open to all members and it's virtual, so you can watch from the comfort of your own home. There will not be donuts unless you bring them yourself. Also on Sunday, if you don't want to sit in air conditioning, Andrew is having a blacksmithing hangout time for people like me who would like to do more blacksmithing but doesn't want to be around fire by myself because it's scary. So you can go and someone else will make sure that you be safe around the fire. Next week we have Intro to Machining on Thursday the 19th in the evening, I think 6:30. This is to get you use on all the tools in the machining area. It's the first class, 100 class. That's Thursday the 19th. Friday is Woodworking 101 at 7. That's to get you access to the tools in the woodworking area. Even if you've been around machining and woodworking your whole life, you still have to take the authorization classes because I'm sure you don't have the exact same setup as we do. So there are also a milling and turning class on the schedule, but they're both sold out. So if you really want to take them, you should pester Billy to put more classes on the schedule. On Saturday the 21st is an Inkscape class. I'm teaching that class. It is brand new. It's never been taught before. There was an Inkscape class earlier this month, and this is something new. It's about doing things specifically for the laser and not just designing for funsies. That's all the classes coming up. If you would like to teach a class, you can talk to me or someone else on the board. If you know something that no one else knows or that other people might not know, we'd love for you to teach a class so we can learn these things too. One more thing. Can I get a volunteer to take the trashes out? Anyone? Anyone? Thank you very much. And last, if you are brand new and you've not had a tour or you'd like to be shown around, you can come up front and talk to me and I'll be glad to show you around, or find someone else with a red name badge and they will also show you around. Thank you for coming tonight.